French colleagues and listeners, here we are, still in Miami, still at another conference, but I'm so happy to have Stephen Verhasselt. I always have trouble pronouncing that, Stephen, but I hope that wasn't too bad. And always pleased. You're always great company. You've got a wonderful sense of humour, and I love your company. So thank you very much for joining us. And Stephen is with FB Consultancy, and I think before we go any further, you need to tell us what the FB is.
The FB is actually my two cats who helped me through the pandemic in Hong Kong, where we were all sitting inside in a real lockdown, not in a European style lockdown, in a real one. And Frankie and Benny were there. Many people who had meetings with me saw them running through the screen, sitting on my shoulder, whatever. So FB are Frankie and Benny, my two lovely ginger cats, and they deserved. When I quit and when I went out on my own, I was looking for a name. I think they deserved to be in it because they were part of the process of starting FB Cargo Strategy. Actually.
Oh, very good, very good. And I imagine every time now you hear somebody saying Stephen Verhasselt from FB, you think Frankie and Benny. It's a great little memory, huh?
No, I put their picture on my website and on presentations as well. FB Cargo Strategy is two gingers.
Yeah, two gingers. Very good, very good. Well, listen, what I want to ask you first of all is, how have you been? What are you doing? And then we'll go on to a few other little questions afterwards.
Well, I'm good. I mean, as you know, I've been with Liège Airport for the best of 20 years, of which 15 years as commercial director. In those days, I was flying maybe a little bit too much. A normal month was 2 weeks in China, 1 week somewhere in the world, and 1 week in Liège. I've done that for more than 10 years. During the pandemic, I was blocked in Hong Kong, and although my friends in Liège were nice enough to offer me a contract extension, I decided that after 20 years, starting the traveling again was just too much. So I quit. I left all the good memories. There's a new team in place in Liège, and I wish them well. Me, myself, with FB Cargo Strategy, what I'm doing is I would call it coaching commercial teams of airports.
Okay, nice one.
So I'm not selling, I'm not doing commercial work because I still have this LGG tattoo on my forehead, and selling other airports would probably not feel right.
Yeah.
But I'm helping airports, I'm helping commercial teams of airports, I'm helping CEOs of airports, I'm helping boards of airports on what to do with cargo, why would an airport invest in cargo, that's number one. What does it bring to the airport, what does it bring to the region? So the why, and then the what to do to bring cargo, and then where to market it, how to position it in the market. That's what I'm doing, and so I'm happy enough to work with a number of airports on this. I have Pittsburgh in here in the US. Yeah. I'm working with Leipzig in Germany. I'm working with Teesside, which is a small but promising airport in the UK. I'm sure you do. Every time I talk to English people, they say, "Yeah, I know." I didn't know until they approached me. But and then I'm still having some projects in Asia. I'm working with airports of Thailand, and I have a project in Vietnam as well.
Nice one.
And then in the Middle East, I'm doing something together with a dear colleague of mine. That's also something I want to do more and more. I don't want to be the lone wolf one-man company. I would like to go into partnerships. So I'm in a partnership. I don't know if he wants me to say it, but I'm in a partnership.
I know who it is.
My good friend Stephen, the other Stephen.
Yes, the other Stephen. So S2. Yes. S2 Ventures.
And so that's what I'm doing, and it's. I mean, it's less intensive than what I did in Liège, but it's very interesting because you see different projects. You get, I mean, I don't get I give a lot of free advice as well when I'm walking in and talking to the projects they have, and then afterwards they hire me or not. But even that drives me, because I love to see. I mean, 20 years ago when we started Liège, I'm not going to say we were the only ones in investing in cargo, but there weren't that many. And now I see the genuine interest that comes with cargo development, with putting in a cargo strategy and really living up to it and investing in it and in it for the long term. So I'm an airport cargo guy, and I love the fact that it's spreading and that I can play my part in it. So
it's good.
I'm happy about what I do.
Yeah, I've been down there a lot lately.
Yeah.
And I've probably visited, I don't know, 7-8 times this year. And it's impressive, and it is a cargo airport.
Yeah,
it really, genuinely, really is. So that's great. Now, what I wanted to ask you, you're talking about advising airports.
Yes.
I've always believed that if airports not get it right, but if airports decide that they want to be a positive disruptor, they've got so much influence over what should happen on their airport, how they can encourage and help and assist what happens on the airport. And make it a quality, make it a community that everybody wants to be part of. Because if people really care about that community, so much more can be done instead of lots of smaller organisations that just work out of an airport. And I think that identity, if airports want to do things, they've got a great opportunity now to change the horizon and the platform of what's in existence.
No, I agree. I mean, to me, an airport is an enabler for business. Yeah. It is not a business as such. I mean, it is a business. Everybody tries to at least cover his costs or make some profit. It also depends. Are you public? Are you private? Are you public and private? Like in Liège, we were 50-50. In other airports, Pittsburgh, for example, is 100% government. Other airports are completely privately owned. So it all depends. But in the end, I think the airport is the enabler for the cargo community. And I think the biggest point that we made in Liège and that I'm making now is that as an airport, you shouldn't, if you want to put a cargo strategy in place, you shouldn't think about your airport. You have to be thinking about a cargo product, and a cargo product doesn't go airport to airport. A cargo product goes origin to destination, and the destination is never at the airport. Never doesn't exist. But I know exactly what you mean. So what I mean is, if when you start working on developing your air cargo community, it's not only the companies that are based on the airport, it's also, for example, very important to have customs on board, to have other government bodies on board, phytosanitary if you're talking perishables, veterinary if you're talking live animals, and so on and so on. So that's part, but also the truckers or for the e-commerce, the last mile providers, although they are off airport in second or third line or beyond, they're part of your community system. And that's the difference between passengers and cargo. The passengers, they arrive, they walk off themselves, they get in their car or on a bus and they're off. If nobody's going to help the cargo along, it's going to be sitting in your airport forever.
Exactly.
And it's not supposed to be there. So that's a little bit what I bring as an advice to airports. Don't limit yourself to airports. And you're right, airports can do a lot, but don't do too much. Make sure all your community, the combination of big international airlines and giant freight forwarders and the Chiniaos of this world, together with the local heroes who have been at your airport since 20 years and who are really the tissue of your airport, bring it all together, develop it together, try to make them cooperate, and that's the role of the airport. Don't step on their turf. I mean, it's their turf. They are on your turf, but they have deserved their place and you need them to be there. So that's a very important part of it. You're an enabler, but you're not really a service provider. You just have to make
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
that
yeah.
the service providers are there.
Can do it the best and maintain certain standards so that it's all
Exactly.
the right way.
So you would be on the one hand you're the greenkeeper, and on the other hand you're the referee.
Exactly.
But you're not a player.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, I'd imagine just like you get chefs and they pass down recipes from family to family. With what you've done, you had a recipe that you started with Liège.
Yeah.
You've seen some of the tastes might not have matched up, then you changed it, then you ended up with a nice meal at the end of the. So I would imagine your recipe for the best practice is something that you work off of, almost like a blueprint or a plan.
A blueprint is a good way to say. It's not a copy paste, because every community, every airport is different. The verticals are different. The location, everything is different, but it is a blueprint. And to me, the basis of the blueprint is, okay, you are the airport, but if you're going to do a cargo strategy, just remember the cargo doesn't end at your airport. A cargo product involves onward forwarding to distribution center, to last mile provider, to consignee, whatever it is. And that is important, and that's why. But that's the, I would say, the blueprint for the operations and for the strategy. The blueprint for the commercialization is, don't go chasing airlines based on your location and the fact that you're open 24/7 and the fact that your runway is long enough. That's not a unique selling proposal. That's just a requirement.
That's just the basics.
That's a requirement. So go after the cargo owners, the guys who decide. It's the cargo owners who decide which airport is going to be used, and what they're looking at is reliability and speed to final destination. Nobody is looking at reliability and speed to your airport.
No, exactly. I think that makes an awful lot of sense. And the other thing as well is what you've described there makes it easier for what everybody talks about at these conferences, collaboration and support. It's rubbish if you don't have a storyline that you know where you all fit into.
Well,
that makes sense.
Collaboration in conferences, we're all like this, and then when we go back to the office, we're all like this again.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the reality. And
exactly.
Well, we've been meeting at these conferences for the best of the last 25 years.
Yes. No, it is. It's crazy. But if ever there's a time now to do something different, and for many different reasons, this is it now, because the business is being forced into a different way of looking at things, and you've got the balance of the people side of things, the automation, robotics, but it still needs that collaboration and cohesiveness to make sure there's a fine balance, because if it's not balanced, it's going to be upside, this side.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the, I won't name names, but let's say the biggest company that I brought to Liège, they told me, we are not a logistics company, we are a data management company. If we manipulate our data right, the cargo will move. And I told them, I'm sorry guys, you have the smartest models, you have everything, but if you manipulate the data and nobody picks it up,
it doesn't matter how good your data is.
It's not going to move. It's not going anywhere. So the human factor remains important, and all the innovation and the robotization and whatnot is there to help to make what the human does, to make it more efficient and more reliable.
Yeah.
But it's not or, it's and.
I totally agree with that, and I people probably fed up with me saying it, but it's people, practices, performance that make the difference to your business.
Yeah.
All the rest with the process, the premises and the equipment and stuff, that helps and assists, but only if you get the people to appreciate it and want to use it and love using it. And I think we've lost the love of being in cargo over the years, and now's the time to bring it back.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I've never worked for an airport who thought cargo was something interesting to put on the side to add another 5% to the 95% airport revenues. I mean, in the airport where I worked most of my career, I was responsible for cargo, real estate, passengers, and consulting, and cargo took about 130% of my time, and all the rest was minus 30.
Yeah, yeah. No, you made a big impact, Stephen, and again, thank you so much for joining us. We're wishing you great success in what you're doing with Frankie and Benny, and it would be nice to see you again in a year's time to see what you think should have happened, whether it has happened, and how much you're able to influence airports in doing things differently.
Yeah, okay, well, thanks very much, Chris. It's always a pleasure
likewise.
To see you, and let's keep this going. You need me, you let me know.
Believe you me, I will. I've already got something in mind.
And thank you for not putting strange glasses on my face this time. I still have the video of the one we did in Munich,
That's
and
right.
I think a lot of people had a good laugh about
Yeah, and that's what we've got to do. We need to laugh. We need to laugh with each other, at each other, and at ourselves more often. And that'll be the way moving forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.